Today, guys, I'm going to be sharing with you in this quick training exactly how to find your identity blocks that are hindering or stopping your next level of growth. So if you're stuck right now in your journey, if you cannot seem to make a breakthrough, if you cannot seem to get to your goals, this is going to be the training for you today, the identity blocks. Now, first and foremost, when I say identity blocks, what is it that I mean by that? What I mean is basically, if you think about where you want to be at and where you're at right now, there's some sort of resistance, there's some sort of blocks, there's some sort of inability that we feel that is in the way to get to where we want to go. So that is what I would consider an identity block. So think of it as like your identity determines what you can accomplish and handle in your life. And if there's something more that you want in your life, but right now your identity doesn't have the capacity to hold it, that's an identity block. So first of all, what is identity and how does this all work, right? So, if you're new to my channel, let me share it down. So, I'm a transformational coach. I help high level six-figure entrepreneurs break their revenue plateaus, break their self sabotage, so that way they can make more money, create more fulfillment, and expand their business. So, how identity works is identity is who you believe you are. And basically, your brain is a prediction machine. So whatever you believe to be true, your brain will literally follow that as instructions in reality. And you will then, how you perceive the world, how you see things, how you interact with things, what you focus on, what you do, how you behave, it's all connected down to who you believe you are, your identity. So your identity influences your focus, your perspective, your actions. Your identity is created from your consistent thoughts and emotions held over time. Neurons that fire together, wired together. So your identity, will say, can influence how you overall think, how you overall feel, and how you take action, how you behave, the decisions that you make or don't make. And those all produce the results that you get in your life. Now, when spiritual or hippies talk about how like you got to change your frequency to attract your dream life, like the law of attraction, basically how that works is, what you want to do is think of the thing that you want. You want to adopt that identity now. So when I say state, think of that as identity. So think of who you want to be, the goals that you have, right? How would they think and feel? Step into that state now. So the thinking and the feeling process, activate that state. That is the identity of them. Then you would take aligned action based off that state. Once you do that, now you're acting in alignment with the result that you want. If you do this over and over and over and over again over time, what's going to happen is that you'll continue to act that way. You'll get new results. You'll find evidence on why that's the right thing. And then old belief systems will start to pop up that you can rewire. And the more and more that you do that, the more and more you start to literally become that actual person who has the results that you want in real time. And eventually, as you give that time, you will again get the results. So, identity determines all the success, all the results that you're going to have in your future. So, identity blocks pop up when, let's say, you have a certain set of belief systems around yourself, around the world, around success, whatever it may be. And then that forms your sense of self as well. So, you have this identity, all right? And you go out in the world and you're trying to accomplish this new thing in your life. So, you put the desire out that you want this specific thing and you're acting towards it and you're doing whatever you can do to get it. But then you hit these blocks in life. Let's say you need to travel, right? And the belief is like, or the conflict is like, well, I can't afford to go to this place right now. Let's say you need a mentor. And it's like, I can't afford to hire a mentor right now. Or you can't afford to go do whatever it may be. Or you don't have time to make it happen, or whatever it may be. These are the blocks that are happening in your real life. Now, I'll share this with you. It's kind of a paradox because the block is real to you, but you realize the block is also an illusion as well. It's created in your mind. And here's what I mean by that is that where you want to go, someone else has accomplished it. Someone else has already made it happen. They figured out a way to be there, right? And right now, here you are, and you're trying to get over there, but you have these but mind blocks, will say, that you're facing, right? It could be, I can't afford to do that. I don't have enough money right now. I have to deal with the situation first. This is too hard. I'm not smart enough. Whatever it may be. What you should know is that somebody else has already been able to get through that and has already been able to get there. Okay. So it's totally possible to happen. So how these blocks pop up in real time is you want to think of these blocks as basically just you're seeing your identity ceiling in real time. Okay. You're seeing your identity ceiling in real time because these blocks are actually just your fears, your doubts, and these ideas that you have about yourself that is being projected into your reality that you're then seeing. And you're seeing it as if it's a real block. Like, oh no, I can't do this because I literally cannot afford to go. Okay. So then when you think that way, right? I cannot afford to go, for example, what you're actually showing is a possible limiting belief around abundance, around money, right? Maybe your mind right now is limited to the belief that abundance is only money. It doesn't come in forms of support, of people, of opportunities, of jobs, of whatever it may be. So then you're limited to, I can only get to this place if I have money. And that's the frame that you're seeing your life through. But you see how that can be so limiting because the definition of abundance is you have more than exactly what you need in every single moment. You have every single thing that you need in every single moment. So if you adopted that belief, right, and you had these expanded beliefs around money and around, being supported and how everything works out for you, you would see that block, but you would not let that block stop you. You would continue to act towards the thing that you want. And as you act towards the thing that you want, now that you have these new belief systems, this new identity construct, you're thinking in ways that align with that. So now you're starting to think outside the box. You're starting to see your situation differently. You're starting to come up with new opportunities, new ideas to make that thing happen. And as you continue to act towards it and act towards it, you will continue to find information that reconfirms those new empowering beliefs that you have. And as you continue to do that, guess what's going to happen? You're going to be way more likely to get the actual result that you want. So that's kind of how blocks come up. Because at first, these blocks are like these mental ideas we'll say that we come up with of like, this is why I can't do the thing that I want right now. Right. And then we will have meaning assigned to it and we will make it make sense. Well, I don't have enough money. And if I do go for this, what if I run out of money and things don't work out? Remember, those are all limitations. That is all just a limited thought and then a fear that's behind it. And the reason why you're having this, if you know where your thoughts come from, because you are not your thoughts. This is the thing you got to know is that you are not your thoughts and your emotions too are never random. And even your perspective, everything, it's not objective truth, right? This is your personal reality experience that you're experiencing here right now. Because in reality, you have no idea what the future holds. So the thing that you want, you might have these scary steps that you might need to do and act upon, but you're not doing them because you're coming up with a meaning or an idea that if you do that, there's going to be a scary future, that things are going to go downhill, that you're going to lose all your money, that you're never going to recover from this, that all bad things are going to happen, whatever it may be. But you don't know what's going to happen in the future. So your mind is predicting that negative future, and that's basically just your ego. So that way you stay stuck and you don't change and you don't go anywhere and you stay in the familiar zone. See, that's a little like a way that your mind tries to mess with you as you're trying to change your life. But what you must know is that how you see the things happen in your life, how you see the blocks, the situations, the struggles, all the stuff that pops up, it all just comes from your core belief systems. The core belief systems that you have about yourself and the world, etc., are producing everything else. They produce your perspective, your focus, how you see situations. Your RAS then filters out. So your RAS is your reticular activating system in your brain. It filters it through 99.999% of reality. It will filter out the information that does not align with your belief systems and it'll filter in the information that does. So literally you could be blocking so many ideas and so many opportunities in your mind you don't even realize it, all from your belief systems. It's a part of the identity block. So your belief systems sends you, will say, influence the thoughts that you get, create the meaning, the interpretations that you have, which then create the emotion. Thought and emotion held over time creates identity. That influences how you take action, the decisions you make, what you focus on, what you act upon, decisions that you don't make, your behaviors, eventually your habits, etc. And that's what produces results. So when you're at this identity block, and the next time you face this identity block, right? And it could be so many things. It could be so many things. And if you don't even know what your identity blocks are, just ask yourself, like, what is the thing that I want? And where am I disempowering myself from the thing that I want? So when I say disempowering is like, where are you knocking yourself short? Where are you selling yourself short? Where are you not being the version of you that already has it? Okay, the version of you that already has it doesn't say, well, I don't have enough time. I'm not good looking enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough resources because they already have it, right? And the goal is that you need to be the person who already has the thing that you want as much as possible. So that's where you're going to find your identity block is where is that distance? Okay, where is that misconnection there? So, for example, for me, I've had many blocks in my life in the past where I would delay the things that I wanted, and I would hold off the things that I wanted around, specifically a lot around money beliefs. Okay. So, like, I don't have enough money. And if I go do this thing, I'm scared that I'm going to run out of money. And if I run out of money, then that means that I'm lost and I'm no good. And I have and when I dissect that, I would realize that, oh my gosh, this story sounds good and it makes sense, but it's not actually universally true. This is just a story I've made up in my mind based off my core belief systems. Because if I had belief systems that money is completely abundant, everything works out for me perfectly, and how I am always supported in all the things that I want to do. Okay. And money is just an amplifier of who I already am. It's nothing that weighs heavier than who I already am, as in worth. If I had beliefs around that, then I would see that situation completely differently, right? I would see that situation of like, okay, I don't have money so to do this. So what are all the other avenues of abundance that I do have? I have people, I have support, I have this over here. Okay, I have all these other things that I can maybe exchange to make this happen. So now you're starting to think outside the box. Now you're starting to think in ways of like, not I can't do this. Now you're starting to think of how can I make this happen? How do I actually make this a reality? Right? You're not being limited. You're not stopping yourself in your tracks. And then when you start to do that and you take action towards it, then you start to actually figure out in real time. You get past this block. You get past this block. And this is also how, like, this is a part of the process because this is how you rewire your identity in real time, right? Like I said, if you want the results you want, if you want to manifest the things that you want in your life, you need to adopt the state as the person who already has it. The state is the identity, right? You need to think and feel as them. You need to believe, you have to have the same belief systems as them. Because if you have the same belief systems, the beliefs will produce everything else that you need. So, okay, you need the new belief systems. So, what you do is as you adopt that state now, you think and feel, you adopt the identity, and you take action. As you're taking action, what is going to happen is resistance is going to pop up. Resistance is basically your old belief systems are now that are no longer in alignment with where you want to go. They're coming to the surface to be rewired. Because what was going to happen is that you're acting on this new state, resistance is going to pop up. So these situations, these challenges, these obstacles, and this gives you the opportunity to approach the situation in a new way, to see it in a new way, to let go of an old belief system. So that way you can get through the situation, you can get through the challenge, and literally make an upgrade to become closer and closer to the person that you actually need to be, who has what it is that you already want. So the challenges in the journey and these blocks are all there for you. The problem with most people is that we let these blocks be our actual reality, right? We see it as it is and we don't question it, and we just take it for how it is and allow that to steer our path, or in most cases, to stop us in our tracks, right? How many times have you heard growing up, you can't or we can't do this certain thing? Right? We can't go to this certain place. We can't do this certain thing. So we were literally brought up to have all these limitations. And that's why so many of us face this. And that's why so many of you will resonate with this training, because we were brought up with so many of these limiting belief systems on, hey, you can't do this because that. But we never go beyond that and question, okay, well, that is just a belief system. That's how I'm seeing the situation. That's why it is my personal reality, because my brain's just doing its job. What's your brain's job? Is to reconfirm what you already believe to be true. So if you believe that you can't do that thing, you can't go to that certain place because you don't have enough money, and that's because you have a belief that there's not enough in this world, that that money is evil, that you're not good enough to get it, whatever it may be, right? That is your brain playing out in real time, showing you, like, hey, I'm showing you that your beliefs are supported. Your beliefs are being supported over and over and over again. So now the question becomes, okay, your limiting beliefs have always supported you. Your limited identity construct has always supported you. So who's to say that this expanded identity and belief system cannot support you? right? Who's to say that if you adopt that belief system, that state, and then you go do that crazy thing that might not make much sense, but you're being called to, you are acting towards it, and that is the next obstacle that you need to get through to get to where you want to go. That is the thing that you keep neglecting, that you know you need to do, that internally it feels like the right thing, but there's that block and there's that fear and there's that doubt, but you do it anyways. What you're going to find the other side is basically you are going to how, because again, how your belief system works, when you act towards the thing that you want, whatever happens after that, right, for good or worse, if you stay in a positive state, you will then see the situation in a positive lens. You'll approach it, you'll act upon it in the positive lens to get you closer to where you want to go, to where you want to go. So on the other side of that freedom and that doubt, you actually find so much freedom because it completely opens up the doors and it helps you get your power back. It helps you realize that, like, oh, that was all an illusion. That was an identity block. That was keeping me stuck as my old self. And it felt so real. But as you act towards it, and if you just act towards it and you do it and you work through it and you realize that it's a block in the first place, right? And you change those belief systems, you will see, approach and act upon it completely differently. And therefore, you will start to get completely different results. So that's how identity blocks work in real time. Just kind of a quick training. I didn't need the whiteboard for this today, but I really want to share this to drive this home because we all deal with identity blocks. We all have an identity cap, and every single next level in our lives always requires a new identity that can actually handle it. And many of us, we let these blocks stop us for years and years on end until the pain gets so bad that we push through the fear, the doubt, the worry, whatever it may be, anyways, in hopes that a change happens. But I'm telling you, you do not need to delay and self-sabotage your next level if you realize that these blocks are just an illusion and they're real because they're real to you personally, but they're not universally real. And that you can see them differently, you can approach them differently, you can act upon them differently, and you can adopt better belief systems that will allow you to get through the situation in a much better manner, in a much better way. And if you do that, you will have much better experience. You will get there way faster to wherever you want to go. That's the training for today, guys. I hope this really helps you. It might be one that you might have to watch a couple times to really get your mind wrapped around. I highly recommend watching my other trainings around identity work and the belief systems as well. But if you did like this, leave a comment down below. What really hit home for you most today? What made the most sense? What was that aha moment? And make sure you like and subscribe for more. And if you are a six-figure entrepreneur or at least doing over 5K per month, you have an established strategy, but you are stuck self-sabotaging, you're stuck at a plateau in your revenue, and you can't seem to break through, this is exactly the work I do. You can apply for help one-to-one below. The link is below. But other than that, guys, thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you on the next training.